Welcome to day 5 of 1 week to erase worry. I'm so happy to wrap this all up with you and put it all together in a way that makes sense. I hope that you do re-listen to the audios whenever you feel that you need a reminder about what worry really is and how you can overcome it. And today's audio is called Influencing Your Reality. So I wanted to really leave you with this empowerment of knowing that you really can influence your reality and your experience of reality around you based on the things that we have been talking about. And I wanted to wrap it up in a way that really makes it easy for you to remember and reflect on the things that we talked about, and knowing that you really do have the power to make those decisions to change your habit of worry and to shift the way that you feel on a daily basis, and to shift your relationship with worry and to shift your relationship with fear versus trust and belief. And those things take time. Those things are a process, but definitely the first step is what you did this week to become more aware of what worry is doing for you, what worry is just a habit, and how you can replace that habit, how you can replace worry, how you can have more control over your thoughts, and what you can also spend more time and energy on, which is focusing on what you want and what you want outcomes to be and what you want your life to look like, rather than worrying about other things and other people and other things that you don't want. Rather focus on what you do want. So putting it all together, I just wanted to wrap it up with the things that we've talked about. So number 1 would be, make sure that you're recognizing when worry has become a habit, and pay attention to it on a day-to-day basis until you really get to shift this habit, because worrying is really just a habit, and the first step is recognizing it. So make sure that that's your number 1 goal, is just to recognize when you've slipped into a habitual, automatic way of thinking that is worry, and it'll be like a constant chatter in your mind that isn't stopping, and it's fear-based. So pay attention to that, notice when that comes up, and then the next thing is to make sure that you have replacement thoughts and phrases for that worry. So make sure that you have different thoughts and phrases kind of in your back pocket to think of, so that you can replace the worrisome and fearful thoughts with something more positive and trusting. And I did have a few suggestions there, like everything is always working out for me, or I always make the right decisions, or I always make the right choices. Just little things like that, so that you're replacing the second guessing fearful thoughts of worry, and you're replacing it with something positive, reinforcing, and empowering. And spend some time writing about that, whatever way feels natural for you, whatever phrases feel natural for you. Make sure you believe them and you can feel it as true when you say it, so that it really can completely shift your habit of worry. The next thing is knowing what you want and focusing on what you want. So knowing what you want is key to everything. And because knowing what you want is something that not a lot of people spend time to really dig into the details, but it's something that you can spend time daydreaming about and getting really familiar with. And then that gives you a different focus. So rather than worrying about outcomes or worrying about other people and things, focus on what you want the outcome of your life to be, what you want the outcome of your circumstances to be, and play with how much fun that can be, and use your imagination about all the wonderful things that could happen. And the other piece of that is focusing on what you want to have happen, rather than worrying about what you don't want to have happen. So see that shift there? It's one or the other. It's the choice that you make. So focusing on what you do want to have happen, the good things, the things that are positive, uplifting, the things that make you feel good, the outcomes that make you feel warm and supported and happy, and drop the old stuff of worrying about what you don't want. Because the next part is, what you focus on is what becomes dominant in your life. So no matter what you focus on, even if you're focusing on what you don't want, that's what you're attracting into your life, because that's what's dominant in your mind and in your energy and in your reality. So focusing on what you do want is crucial, and focusing on what you do want in a good way is so much fun and so much lighter and easier and flowing. So I highly recommend that you focus on what you want, because whatever you focus on becomes dominant in your reality. And remind yourself and remember this, that worry is just a habit, and a habit can be changed. So if all else fails, just remind yourself of that in a moment when you're going into your worrying mind and it's nonstop chatter going on. Just say, I'm worrying. Worrying is just a habit, and I can change this habit. And that will just refocus you and re-empower you to release the worrying in your mind and make a change. So you can influence your reality. You can influence how you react. You can influence how you feel in everyday life. And it's by following all of these things and releasing more worry and releasing those habitual ways of thinking that aren't serving you, and then choosing new ways of thinking and being and doing, and letting go of the worry completely, and knowing that it's just a shift in mindset and it's something that you can do. And the work that you did this week has gotten you off to a really good start, and it will continue to sink in as your days go by. You'll notice more and more things. You'll have more and more awareness, and you can always go back to these audios at any time, and you can redo these 5 days over again. I highly recommend doing that, because you can never get enough positivity running in the background, even as you're listening or doing something, or as you're driving and you're listening to something positive. It's helping reinforce your positive thoughts and replacing thoughts of worry that are just your habit. So thank you so much for going through this week with me, going through this journey, 1 week to erase worry. I would love to get your feedback if you want to send me an email or post a comment or anything like that of what helped you, what served you, anything you want to learn more about. And thank you so much. I'm Laura Varga, lifedesigncoaching.ca.